I talk, you listen, or you turn the channel. Either way, I'm still gonna talk. Welcome to Unfiltered. I want to apologize first off about last week's drop of the audio in 2 clips. And you know, I don't know what the first clip was.
Or you turn the channel.
But the first clip, the second clip was the one about Admiral Sandecker, which was actually a funny clip, and I was really sad to lose that one. But out of the hour show, that was something that, as I learned, you have to really be meticulous about this stuff, or else, you know, one little lapse and I didn't notice it, and apparently it was too late. By the time I noticed it, it was already on the air. Oh well. But a good show altogether for a thrown together clip show. But a great show tonight. We've got, a little bit later, a special guest appearance by the Spanish Inquisition.
I didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Their main weapon is surprise.
And fear.
What?
And fear.
Oh. Their 2 main weapons are surprise and fear.
What about total ruthlessness? You forgot total ruthlessness.
All right. Their 3 main weapons are surprise, fear, and total ruthlessness. Screw it. Anybody that can remember back that far, one of the greatest Monty Python bits of all times was the Spanish Inquisition bit. And that actually played the other night on a best of episode. That and the Lumberjack song. And I love the Lumberjack song. Oh, let's see what else is going on this week. Tonight at 9 o'clock, the Spring Bling Ladies of the Rainbow drag show out at the Moose Lodge. So as soon as you're done watching the show, get right over there. There's still probably a few tickets left, and I'm sure you can get in. Always a great show, though. This is kind of funny. Apparently, I believe it was last weekend. Of course, not being on the air last week, I kind of missed out on a whole bunch of news, and we're going to catch up a little bit with some of the big ones. But this one was kind of funny because a U.S. Airways pilot has been grounded pending an investigation because apparently sometime during his flight, his pistol discharged. And he shot a hole in the plane. And the news people, they had the camera that showed the outside of the plane and the bullet hole. I don't know. He said it went off when he was stowing it. But apparently he didn't tell anybody until they landed. Which is, see, they make the planes safer these days. It's the pilots that they're not.
And decompression alarms during the flight didn't annoy anybody.
Apparently, I don't know why nothing. It was weird. But it was one of those things I just kind of caught a little bit of the story. And I'm too lazy or uninterested to figure out the rest, you know. But yeah, I mean, these are the guys we think, you know, give the pilots guns. It may be safer. Yeah, like a bus driver with a gun. I don't know, my old school bus driver probably would have used the gun a few times if she'd had one. Another funny story. Marysville, Tennessee, people are getting quite a great chuckle because apparently the newest official police vehicle, sheriff's vehicle, is a 1973 VW Bug. Yeah. They seized it in a DWI case. And they had it repainted and decaled. It's got fancy side mirrors and lights and the whole 9 yards. And they gave it the number 53, which is the same as Herbie the Love Bug. Yeah. So they're going to use it mostly for publicity and things like that. So it's, yeah, like a kind of a dare car, apparently. But a VW Bug. Yeah. They could have at least got an American car. I don't know. But I guess you got to take what you can seize. Caesars can't be choosers, I guess, right? Let's get another funny one, because the tail end of this show is going to be serious as hell. But I'll give you some funny stuff. In Chicago, apparently on March 25th, about 8 o'clock in the morning, a masked man walked into a Mufflers for Less shop and started demanding money. The 2 guys that were working there, Jose Cida was one of the men, told him that they didn't have that much money and they couldn't open the safe. Only the manager could open the safe. So the robber left his phone number. Actually, he left 2 phone numbers and told them to call when the owner returned with the combination to the safe. He said, "If you better call me or I'll come back and shoot you." Well, they called the cops, and the cops were fairly interested in the story. Maybe they just needed a good laugh. So the cops got a plainclothes officer and the film crew from World's Dumbest Criminals and headed over to the muffler shop. And they called the guy and said the owner was here with the combination. The retard went back to get the money. And apparently, after the incident, the guy was treated at a hospital for gunshot wounds because apparently the cops shot him in the leg. Probably for being so stupid.
You're too dumb to leave on the streets. We better shoot you.
They said he came back wearing the same mask and black clothing. And the employees had gone to the back of the shop. And a source from the police department said the teenager, it was a teenager, no doubt, pulled the gun from his hooded sweatshirt, and at least 1 officer opened fire. It's, I like when they word it like that, at least 1. There could have been half a dozen guys blasting away at this kid. Or else maybe their guns just went off because they were laughing so hard. Apparently it was an 18-year-old kid. Everybody thought the kid was stupid. So apparently the verdict's in and the kid's stupid. So if you're going to rob someplace, rob the place. I mean, don't be too lazy to hang around and wait. I mean, that would have been the smart thing to do. The guy would just go, okay, the boss isn't here with the combination. I'll just wait till he gets back. But no, you leave your number and you go to do errands or whatever, you know. I'll be back after I drop the kids off from school. You know, whatever. It's funny. What else do I want to talk about today? Oh, I saw a story last weekend about, I think it was Sydney, Australia. The dude that called the cops to say that his house had been broken into and somebody stole some of his pot plants. Yeah, you know what happened? The cops came and took the rest of them. So now he's got none. I mean, when you get robbed of something like that, you have to figure, look, I'll just, you know, take the loss and go about my life. But no, you don't call the cops. And it's funny because guys like that and give pot smoker's a bad name, really. I mean, granted, you want to be honest, and you feel if pot was legal, it would be different, because you can call the cops and say, somebody broke into my house and stole 3 cases of beer out of my fridge, and they'll come and investigate that. That's fine, and nothing will happen to you.
Well, they might want to take some of your beer with them just for evidence and comparison.
If the guys left any, yeah, but I don't know. It's just stupid. And I remember a couple of years ago out in Tanglewood, authorities responded to a 911 call at a trailer in Tanglewood. When they arrived, they got no answer at the door except for a dog barking. So they went into the house and searched to make sure everything was all right. They found a whole bunch of pot plants, and they busted the guy. Come to find out, the dog had knocked the phone on the floor, and 911 was one of the speed dial numbers. So a tip, if you got pot in your house and you got a dog, make sure the dog can't get to the phone, because they will call the cops on you.
Or at least make sure he's actually your best friend.
Yeah, apparently this wasn't a best friend kind of a dog.
The dog didn't like you smoking dope, so.
And maybe it was an ex-police dog. I don't know. Stupid stuff. What else is going on in Keene? The potholes are still here. Nope, there's still no pot in them. There's Court Street they got some construction going on up there at the corner of Elm Street and Court Street. Something going on with the culvert there or something, I think, from that little pond or swamp area there. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I see it's about that time. I should tell everybody what happened, Bruce. I won't till later. Time for crew call. And another short crew call tonight. But we do have one cameraman. And no, it's not Greg. It's Rob. Greg had some things to do, but Rob is here again. He's a real trooper. And he's a great camera operator. And he's going to get some more experience here at the drag show tonight. And we've got, actually this is Rob's first time setting up for the booth shot, so we'll bear with him for a minute.
That's a good shot.
And,
don't sweat it.
Until we're ready. And if we're ready, we got just Bruce in the control room tonight.
Just me in the control room tonight. Andrea's not feeling all that great, so we went ahead and medicated her and left her at home, so hopefully she'll feel better. But the weather changes wreak havoc on her with the headaches, so she's a little under the weather, shall we say. So.
Right, and now all your mic levels and everything for the Voice of God mic is good this week, right?
I hope so. It seems to be registering pretty well on the meter here, and I've been trying to keep an eye on it, so hopefully everybody out there can hear me this week. It's been a challenge the last couple of weeks. We've had the levels down too low, and it's Andrea keeps saying, "Well, turn it up at home."
Well, it's a new board. It's a new board too.
Yeah, it's a new board, and she's not quite used to it, but that's all right. We're making it work, and hopefully I'm not screwing it up too much. We had a little bit of a glitch at the beginning of the show where I forgot to press the record button. My fault. Andrea's usually here to do it, but we ended up starting our show about 10 minutes late tonight because Bruce forgot to press the record button on the DVD recorder. So.
But hey,
stuff happens. We live and learn, and fortunately we're not live anymore. We're taping one day earlier, so I can yell cut, and we can start it over again, which is a nice thing to be able to do once in a while. I wish we could do that in real life.
I think we've only done it twice, really. We've only had to restart twice. The Christmas episode we had to restart because of a glitch. I can't remember what the glitch was, but and then.
And tonight, tonight we get to do it again.
And of course, Lee is really nice because it helps him too. He programs the Nexus to start recording at 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock, so that he doesn't have to ingest the show into the Nexus. But sorry, Lee.
Yeah, we just tacked on a little work for him because we started 10 minutes late, and so now he's going to have to come and ingest the entire episode so everybody at home can watch it at the correct time instead of 10 minutes after the starting time. But
Oh, well.
Stuff happens.
What can
life
you
goes
do?
on, but it was a quiet week this past week for NASCAR. Being Easter, we didn't have anything going on other than a nationwide race over at Nashville.
And that looked pretty boring from what I saw of it.
It wasn't too bad. Nashville's a mile and a half, pretty flat track, so not a whole lot goes on unless the drivers get crazy. But I believe it was a Childress 1-2. They had Clint Boyer and Scott Wimmer come in first and second. So 2 races in a row because Childress got the 1-2-3 at Bristol the week prior, and then he just got it this past week, a 1-2 finish for his drivers in the Nationwide Series. So that's it's been a great 2 weeks for Richard Childress Racing. But this week we get to look forward to Martinsville, which is a little half-mile bull ring flat track. Still going to have some beating and banging going on, and should prove to be a good race. And they're going to also have the NASCAR Craftsman trucks there this weekend. So there should be some good racing going on. But for all of you fans at home that were missing the race last week, it was Easter, and they normally give the mothers a break during Easter and the religious holidays, so we didn't get any good racing last week. But this week should turn out to be pretty good, so hopefully everybody will have a good time and enjoy the race, and we will see you again next week. So back to you, bud.
Thanks, man. We'll send Rob down to the down to the bunker.
Go ahead and head down.
And
Head on over.
I've got some. While we wait for Rob to get down to the bunker and get set up, we'll. That's all right. Just yank it, Rob, because those are squeaky door. We'll have to get that fixed, Bruce. You'll have to break out your WD-40 again and go around and oil all the doors. So let's have a few little useless informations. For instance, Benjamin Franklin was the head of the first post office back in the early days. Harry Houdini was the first person to fly an airplane on the continent of Australia. Got it. Interesting, huh? Here's one. Shirley Temple made $1 million by the time she was 10 years old. Yeah. I think I've done that one. About the band Duran Duran. Got its name from a character in the 1968 Jane Fonda movie, Barbarella. Yeah. Oh, these were some names. Where are the names? Cleo and Caesar, or Caesar and Cleo. Cleo and Caesar. You know who they were, Bruce? Cleo and Caesar. That was an early stage name for Sonny and Cher. I'm pretty sure that they did a good job by changing it. A lot of people might not know. Even though he starred in a lot of gangster films, James Cagney started his career as a chorus boy. Yeah. How about some real names? This is a funny one. Albert Brooks, the comedian, his real name is Albert Einstein. How weird is that? Jim Carrey's middle name is Eugene. Tom Cruise's real name is Thomas Mapother. How about Ice Cube? Ice Cube's real name, do you think it's a tough one? O'Shea Jackson. O'Shea. Ice Cube is O'Shea. No way you'd make it as a rapper like that. O'Shea Jackson, rap artist. No way. Of course, Hulk Hogan's real name is Terry Bollea. What else we got? Keanu Reeves. You know what Keanu means? Keanu means cool breeze over the mountains in Hawaiian. I'm not sure. Maybe. How about Keanu Reeves once managed a pasta shop in Toronto. Yeah. That is a long way from Hawaii. Exactly. Alfred Hitchcock did not have a belly button. How about that? Here's one. Rita Moreno. She's the first and only entertainer to have received all 4 of America's top entertainment industry awards: the Oscar, the Emmy, the Tony, and the Grammy. She's won them all. Katharine Hepburn is the only person to win 4 Oscars for Best Actress. And Clark Gable used to shower more than 4 times a day.
As soon as you're ready to turn it over, we've got Tarzan up on screen.
All right. I'll leave you with this one. In high school, Robin Williams was voted least likely to succeed. Shows you what high school kids know, right? All right. Let's take it down into the bunker for bunker banter with Tarzan. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Rick? How the hell are you?
Not bad. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay, Rick. You know, I hate to give you this number, you folks, but 4,003 sisters and brothers have passed away as of today.
That's it.
It's a crying shame, Rick. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said that's it, man. 4,003. I saw that.
It's just an incredible. You know, I saw a cartoon. I don't know if we call it a cartoon. We call it a political cartoon. In a Sentinel the other day, and had an American flag with 4,000 stars on it, and it just blew me away, Rick. That's what we should be flying.
Maybe.
You know, I thought that was the most awesome cartoon, and it wasn't anything funny, and everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say cartoon like that. All this political satire.
On the editorial page.
What's that, Rick?
The cartoon's on the editorial page.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and you know, speaking of satire, Rick, you know, I remember where I was in 1996. I'm not sure if Hillary remembers what she was doing in 96, but she claims to be dodging bullets on a tarmac over there in Bosnia.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, I heard an interview with the pilot of that C-130. He said there weren't even any bumblebees flying around that day. And he would never put the First Lady and her daughter in any jeopardy like that, Rick. You and I know that. And it's atrocity. This lady had to lie like that, excuse me, and think that wasn't going to be found out, wasn't going to be covered.
Right.
It's just amazing, Rick. You know?
I don't know why she would have to say that. Why she would tell a story like that. Really?
Really, Rick. You know, people like her. We had people like that in the service. We call them PX heroes. You know, and I consider her nothing but a PX hero, Rick. She didn't do anything heroic that day, but smile a little pretty face across the tarmac for the cameras. And now I'm getting ticked off, but I don't have any water in my hand, so everybody relax. You know, Rick, I got a little gold mine here. It's called my Price Chopper Advantage card, Advantage Edge card.
Yeah?
You see this little baby right here, Rick?
Yeah?
This baby here saved me 90 cents on a gallon of gas.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking $2.60 a gallon. And with this little baby here, maybe I'm wrong about the $2.60, but I saved 90 cents on a gallon of gas.
Oh, that's
and I
one of
suggest
those-
everybody go out there and get one of these babies, because
That's
you
one
can
of
fight
those-
this gas overpricing by purchasing or getting one of these cards. I don't even think you got to pay for them, Rick. All you got to do is buy the darn groceries.
Yeah, that's one of those deals. I mean, and like, I think CVS has got a card like that where the more you buy, they like rewarding you for buying from their stores. I mean, and it's I think it's a great thing.
But the best thing going, brother. You know, I nearly choked on my SpaghettiOs the other day, Rick, when Reverend Wright went off on his little deal. Now, it seems like Reverend Wright had to insult Italians today. You know, what's it going to be next, Reverend Wright? You're going to insult the Bloods, the Crips, the Mexican Mafia? I don't think you would go there, do you? I don't think this guy has a chance in heck of ever showing up again.
No, I don't know. I'm going to go in. Actually, I'm going to reenact part of his speech because, I mean, I don't have the clips like Jon Stewart, so I'm just going to reenact it myself.
I'll have to
So-
tune into that when you do that, because
Yeah.
I'm sure that you can enlighten the rest of the audience on how you feel about them just as much as how I feel. It's not a color issue. It's mouthing off about America. Well,
Oh.
It's ridiculous. We're in a freaking war here, in a holy war that we don't belong in, and Reverend Wright's going to start a war in the States?
Yeah, he jump on the bandwagon with, all the rest of them, Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Farrakhan and all them.
Oh,
All them
as a
wacko
matter of
guys.
fact, Farrakhan was on the news today, too. I guess him and Reverend Wright have a pretty good thing going.
Really?
Rick, when I was growing up, Billy Graham was shoved down my throat. We got 5 channels back in the day, and we all had to watch Billy Graham. The parents be over there with scotch and water, and we're watching Billy Graham. Could have saved the world. It seems like Billy Graham had a lot of racist things to say in the Nixon White House. I didn't realize that till just recently, and I've actually lost a lot of respect for Billy Graham, and I'm sorry if the audience doesn't like that, but I'm putting it to you nicely. I could have said a couple of different ways, but that's about as nice as I can put it.
Yeah, well, there's things that, people thinking like that is never going to stop. I don't know. It all starts with what we teach our children. As long as we teach our children hate and, differences, that's all we're going to see is differences. And, if you get a room full of 5-year-olds or 4-year-olds, half white, half black, those kids won't have any problem getting along because they haven't learned the hate yet, and that's what it is.
That's right,
So-
bro.
So what else you got, Tarzan?
Well,
Anything?
I wish I had Martin Landau here, but I heard he's going to be on Cheshire TV in a great interview with Mrs. Tracy Perkins, and I'm really dying to see it. What a great actor.
It's coming up soon.
And everybody out there, I'm just going to leave with this one last thing, right? Everybody out there, watch out for the motorcycles. It's that season, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, Tarzan's out of here.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good week, man.
Peace.
Yes, and Tarzan brought up motorcycle season. So it is getting to be that time of year. And if Bruce is, I know Bruce is in there directing Rob back up from the bunker, but the contest, Bruce. We are still having the contest, and actually, this is the last weekend of the contest for entries. It's the end of March is when we're gonna stop taking entries. So get your entries in for the date that you think it's gonna hit 70 degrees for the first time in Keene. And the email address is on the screen, headforlaughs@hotmail.com. Worked perfect tonight, didn't it, Bruce? Man.
Absolutely. I had to run it twice.
Oh, okay.
Just want to make sure that people at least give us the date that they think that it's going to hit 70 degrees, their name, and some way of contacting them, because we got to get them
That's right, because we have to.
You got to show them what we're going to offer as a prize.
All right. Andrea, now, I was going to think of something quirky and inventive and something stupid to go along with the show. But Andrea actually picked this out. She thought it would be a good present. So the winner of the contest will win this beautiful bamboo thing. Piece of bamboo.
It's a lucky Japanese
It is a lucky bamboo.
or Chinese or Oriental or something.
Yeah. You only got to water it every never or something. But yeah, a very nice gift. And as long as I don't kill it before it's time to give it away, we'll be just fine. But I'm not good with plants. I got to tell you. God. What else did Tarzan mention?
One more time for those at home, headforlaughs@hotmail.com.
Thank you, Bruce. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll first hit Hillary. Not literally, but let's talk about her little coming into Bosnia under fire. And she said that the plane made one of those evasive landings that the C-130s are really known for, coming in real hot and then it just dropping down real quick and landing. And sniper fire. She was under sniper fire. They said that She said they had to rush to their car from the plane because of sniper fire. But they showed the clip, and the only danger I saw was if that flower that little girl gave her was a bomb, was an IED. But it wasn't. Now Hillary says, no, she misspoke. She mentioned something about sleep deprivation, which, if you're a president, you're gonna have to be able to stay up for long periods of time, deal with a lot of information coming into your brain, and you're probably gonna be sleep deprived for your entire term. Now, if we got somebody that is a few days sleep deprived and because of a campaign, and she's already hallucinating these major war stories, maybe she is not the best person for president. Because she could start flipping out, because she was sleep deprived during some national crisis and end up saying all kinds of stuff. And Chelsea, they got the kid involved, which maybe was planned. Let's get the little Chelsea. She's not little anymore. She's 19 or 20 years old, I think. But she's on the campaign trail. A student at a college that she was visiting asked her about if her mother's credibility was damaged because of the Monica Lewinsky deal. And Chelsea said, that's the first time anybody's asked me that question, and I don't think it's any of your business. I think it is their business. The more proper thing, if Chelsea was actually a smart girl, she would have said, no, I don't believe my mother's integrity or anything was hurt by that whole deal. I think it's done nothing but make her stronger. Then that would have been a great answer. And then we could have been proud of young Chelsea. But I think she just wants to be the first kid, the White House first kid again. Because apparently she had a big playroom or something when she was there. Anyway, but there's not a whole lot to talk about with Hillary. Except that, yes, she is already starting to look old. And it's only going to get worse. I'm afraid she's going to end up by the end of 4 years, if she's president, looking like Mr. Magoo. Really. I think she is. It almost looks like she's putting on weight, too. Like maybe she should get on Jenny Craig or something. But she looks like she's getting a lot of junk in the trunk. I just happened to notice that the other night. That, oh man, she's porking up. And she doesn't even know Oprah. All right. Reverend Jeremiah Wright. Where do I start with this Nimrod? Another one, I was never subjected to racism as a kid because I lived in Keene and we didn't even have black people. So I didn't learn what racism was until I got in the service and witnessed guys that just had horrible things to say about black people, about Puerto Rican people, about Laotian people. I mean, you name it. If you were different, granted, a lot of the people that thought that way were at my first taste of the redneck culture from down south. I knew some guys from Mississippi and Tennessee. And I don't know, but that was the first time I had witnessed racism. I went in not knowing, sure, it was different. Because there are differences, not in just looks, but there are differences in the way that black people and white people act socially. And it's all the way you brought up. But this Reverend Wright, we fought and we fought and we fought against racism You know, yeah. And at this point, they're wanting schools to not teach kids about slavery, like it never happened. But yes, it did happen. We were a horrible people. We've created horrible acts on mankind. Yeah, we have. The white people, you know, every race of people. It's been the same throughout history. But we just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. And it comes right back down. I mean, everybody was up on Don Imus for the remark that he made. Yeah, it was horrible. Everybody got on Michael Richards for the remark that he made, downing the black people. Reverend Wright is worse. Reverend Wright didn't just slam on white people. Reverend Wright slammed on Americans. And I'm going to do it. Here's my little reenactment. This is what I got out of his little soundbite, Bruce. So you may want to watch my volume because I may tend to rise a little. But this is what I got. America had lied to you. They lied to you about Pearl Harbor. They lied to you about slavery. They lied to you about Al Qaeda. He said 9/11 was America's chickens coming home to roost. That's what he said. He said America was just like Al Qaeda. And I don't think that's right. I see us more as like the Crusades. Like that's any better. The Huns. We're going around the world telling people, think like we do or else. You know, be like us. Be democratic. Vote for your presidents. And well, I got a secret about that too. But he's screaming about slavery and how bad, you know, things were. I just want to remind everybody, just for all of you people that have forgot your 4th grade history, before there were black slaves in the United States, there were white slaves. They were called indentured servants. You would get on a boat in another country, you would come here, and then you would work for the rich prick that paid for your way to get over here. And he owned you until he said your debt was paid. That's slavery. And that was way before the black people even were brought here. We had our own slaves, but eventually people wouldn't stand for it. So it ended. Actually, it probably didn't end. We've still got white slavery going on in places. Hillary Clinton said if Reverend Wright was her priest, preacher, pastor, whatever, that she would have left the church. Maybe. But I don't know. How do we know that her pastor doesn't say stuff like that? Barack put out his income tax stuff because he had to, because he's going to be president. Apparently he's made like this enormous amount of money over the past 10 years and gave less than 1% to charity. Actually, I think they said less than 4% to charity. He did it one time. If you look at the chart, his charity contributions increased the closer he got to running for president to make himself look good. He did at one time donate $27,000 to the Trinity Church. So whether he believed in the guy or not, that's good. You're getting it, Rob. Trying to figure out the time signals. Well, that's because we didn't give him the board to write the stuff on. All right. He's doing good, though. Anyway, that's all I want to say about Reverend Wright. I think he's a jerk. I don't think he should be allowed to be a pastor. I mean, the church must have some kind of hierarchy where somebody higher up in the church can say, look, granted this is free speech, but you can't go knocking the country that has given you the free speech. You know, you can't go around comparing us to terrorists, although I have actually kind of thought similar to that myself. But you have to look at the things we're doing. We are sticking our nose into everybody else's business. And that's not right. But, you know, as a major superpower. Intermission. Yes. We got like 20 minutes left, right? Thanks, Bruce. Yes. Once again, another musical intermission and another song by the 12th of Never. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great clip. Great song. Man, what an awesome band they were. Yesterday's USA Today. I just barely looked at it during the clip. Robin Williams and his wife are getting a divorce. Apparently she can't stand the craziness anymore. Irreconcilable differences. They got an 18-year-old daughter named Zelda and a 16-year-old son named Cody. And they met when she was the nanny for Williams' son Zach, who is now 24 from his first wife. So, yeah. Speaking of names, who did I see the other day? Demi Moore. You know her kids' names? She named her kids the weirdest friggin' things. Tallulah is one of her kids' names. And Scout? Imagine naming your kid Scout. That's not what you name a kid, that's what you name a horse.
Or a dog.
Or a dog. And what's the other one? Rumor. She named one of her kids Rumor. I mean,
That's a good way to start a kid off with a complex, you know?
yeah. I mean, thanks for the name, Mom. You've really helped my career. First thing the kid will do is change his name, you know? But, what else we got? What else did I see? Entertainment stuff. Ruben Studdard, I believe he was second place the year. Was he first place?
I think he won it, didn't he? Pretty sure he won it.
I thought it was.
Yeah, Clay came in second. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ruben Studdard, he's starting a tour with the national company of Ain't Misbehavin'. So he'll be on tour with that Broadway show, and he said he's breaking ground on his restaurant this year, and it should be open by 2009. And I mean, that was like the only season of American Idol that I ever watched. And I got mad and actually bailed because Josh Grayson got booted. And I know he was way better than some of the other ones. But back then, Ruben was saying that one of his dreams was he'd always wanted to own a restaurant. So he's going to break ground on it this year, and he's doing good things. So he's still huge, though. Somebody had said he was starting to lose weight, but I don't think so. Let me talk about a little technology. Because now, apparently, plasma screen TVs are a thing of the past. So if you just bought a plasma screen TV, you're screwed. Because the new thing is LCD. Is it LCD or LED? LCD.
Yeah.
Liquid crystal display. So yeah, that's the newest thing. And as soon as you buy one of those, you'll have to buy something else. It's the same thing. When I was a kid, I had records, albums. They were all right, but they got scratched if you didn't take care of them, and they were easy to dispose of because you just hucked them like a frisbee out into the woods. After that, the great tape came out.
8-track.
The 8-track. That's right. They took the songs from the album, they put them on tape. There was only one problem with 8 tracks. Every single 8-track had one song that changed right in the middle. It changed tracks right in the middle of the song. Then they came up with cassettes. Cassettes were good. They'd last a couple, 3 years, 4 years. Eventually they'd start to drag, or they'd break or get stretched or something. But they were cool. But the powers to be decided that CDs were the way to go. Because they don't scratch, they don't skip. You can huck them across the room, put them in, and they'll play. Or that's what they wanted us to believe. But they skip, and they get scratched, and the quality of the music, I mean, given the fact that starting at age like 18, we start losing our hearing, there's no difference in the quality. The biggest improvement between the albums and the cassettes were the fact that you got rid of the little scratchy noises. But other than that, it's just a way for the record companies to perpetuate their music and to make you go out and buy the same piece of music any number of times. And it's funny because what brought this all to my head was one night last week, Stephen Colbert had Carole King on. And they're re-releasing the album Tapestry, which is from the 70s, I think. Well, Colbert asked her, why re-release this album now? And she said, well, to be honest, Sony said they thought it was time for a new package. So it wasn't even her call. It's the record company. Yeah, well, let's put this one back out again. Maybe people will buy another 1 million copies of it. And they probably will. I don't know. I'm tired of replacing stuff. I've replaced everything a number of times. I've got boxes of cassettes still under my bed because I don't want to throw them away. It's music. And you don't throw away music just like you don't throw away a Bible. I don't know. Games are changing with technology, and that's what it all is technology. This whole digital thing. You know, I don't know what the problem with analog television signals are, but it wasn't until the digital age that you started getting these little friggin' blobs in the middle of your screen and people freezing up and in the signals. I mean, the other day on Regis and Kelly, they were having a horrible problem with that. The picture freezing, and I mean, film never used to do that unless it broke and it would just go black. You didn't have film freezing or like the little pixel blocks down in the corners or all over. Just the digital pictures. I don't know. It's not. I see us going back to, we talked about it the other night, Bruce. Remember the AM radio? Back there was not even FM stations. You listened to AM radio when you could get it. And you had UHF TV. And yeah, 3 channels, if you were lucky. And you could, I mean, it was all, now this digital stuff, and eventually something is going to happen. Computers are going to crash. There's not going to be enough electricity to power these huge computers to run all this
We're going
TV
to run
stuff.
out of oil. We won't be able to power our power plants.
Right. It's oh man. And we're going to be right back to UHF TV. Let's just make a TV show, boom, send it out into space. Whoever sets their antennas just right will get it. You know, for as far as, I mean, just put a lot of power behind it, and that's the thing. And it's the technology, is what it is. It's just got to keep getting more and more and more instead of, the problem is we're making all this technology to make our lives easier, but we're still more rushed than ever. We have less free time than ever, which is, I mean, you push the button. The Jetsons had it made. They never did nothing. They hung around the house. He went to work, kicked his feet up on the desk. You push the button, it does all the work. So relax, read the paper. You know, teach your kids something.
Well, the problem is nowadays, while the vacuum's doing its thing, people have the desire or feel the need to be doing something else, because now I don't have to waste my time doing that. I can be doing this. The easier things get, the more things we want to be able to do. So we're not saving any time. We're just stacking more crap on ourselves.
Right, but it's more work. It's usually people that are more. People aren't relaxing more. People are taking less vacations than ever. You know, you'd think with all this technology, oh no, because you can't go on vacation, because what happens if something happens to your computer at work?
And poor people that work from home, how do you get away?
Yeah.
You know, you find yourself working at 1 o'clock in the morning instead of sleeping like you're supposed to.
Yep, that's it. That's it. And I mean, it's not doing our kids any good. I actually saw a phone. There's a new phone system you can get where it will translate everything that's said onto your phone into a typed message. So you don't even have to listen to voices anymore.
How impersonal is that?
That's real impersonal. And kids don't listen to people these days. The only thing kids listen to, if you put a message in music, a kid will get it. But if you tell a kid something, he won't get it. So I don't know. I see it all the time with some of the people we got answering phones at the shop, and they don't listen. It's not as important to listen to people anymore. So I don't know. We got just a few more minutes, Bruce? All right. Let me grab a couple more of these. I had some good ones. How about the phrase rule of thumb is derived from an old English law stating that you cannot beat your wife with anything whiter than your thumb. Yeah. It's an interesting one. Ham operators. Ham radio operators. They got the word ham from the expression ham-fisted operators, a term used to describe early radio users who sent Morse code by pounding their fists. All right, 1 minute. I want to thank my crew, Rob and Bruce. Tarzan did another great segment tonight. I forgot to call Randy and Chris, so I don't know what's coming up on No Spin, but they'll be talking about something, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe same words.
Last week they were wearing they were the same design on the ties but different colors. So keep your eye out. Maybe they'll have matching ties again. I don't know. Tonight, like I said, you may want to skip Chris and Randy's show and get right up to the Moose Lodge, because Ladies of the Rainbow is coming up. Monday night, don't forget Choices and Cinemaniacs. I heard that this past week's show was a great one. I've yet to catch it. So, thanks Cheshire TV, thanks Mom's Tattoo and Gemini Screen Print. Till next week, peace. Yeah, good.